How's it going, folks? Welcome back to the channel. Thanks for joining me today. So I was supposed to have a video about Riley McGree today, what he was going to bring to the Celtic team, what kind of player he was, but he's not coming to Celtic anymore. Looks like he's going to Middlesbrough. And to be honest, that's a bit of a sidestep, but that's his decision to make. If he doesn't want to join Celtic, if he wants to play in Middlesbrough in the Championship, that's up to him. Celtic will move on and find someone new. Celtic did announce the signing of Johnny Kenny today. I know it was officially announced about a week ago, but he has a Celtic jersey now. He's officially a Celtic player. So with that in mind, I decided to put this video together instead of the Riley McGree one. 3 players that Celtic could look at in the League of Ireland that I think could make the step up to the Scottish Premiership. The first player I've gone for is Ademo Omaku. He's a Shamrock Rovers player, 18 years old. He has been playing mainly in the Shamrock Rovers B team and has come through their academy as well, but he has had some minutes for the first team as well. He is mainly a striker, has played on the wing as well as part of a front three, and he is a really exciting talent. He's the player that Shamrock Rovers are looking at as the next star for their team. He will be in the senior team next year. He will be getting minutes on the board in terms of senior appearances in the Premier Division, and Shamrock Rovers are the best team in the league. Why do I think he would be a good match? Well, you're getting him young enough. He's 18 years old, so you're getting value there. The League of Ireland is somewhere where you can get players a little bit cheaper than you naturally would be. And would he go straight into the Celtic team? No. But he would be a player that I'd be looking at as someone the Celtic could poach really early in his career. Get him over, get him into the B team, develop him themselves, maybe send him out on loan if they need to. But I think if they get in early doors in this player, that prevents the likes of Hibs or Aberdeen or Dundee or Motherwell, whoever is sniffing around the League of Ireland, from getting him before Celtic do. And I think he is destined to be one of the best young players in the League of Ireland next year. And I think if we looked at him potentially from the start of the League of Ireland season this year, then potentially not in the summer, but in the next January transfer window, he could be someone Celtic definitely look at as a potential signing. The second player I've gone for is Dawson Devoy from Bohemians. He's a young midfielder, 20 years old, and he was the PFAI Young Player of the Year this season in the League of Ireland. I've gone for him for a number of reasons. The first being is that he's a really exciting prospect with a lot of first team experience. He has played for Bohs, started for Bohs practically the entire season. He's a really creative midfielder. He's good on the ball. He has an eye for a good pass, and he can take a shot on as well. He's very confident when he gets the ball, and for a player of his age, that's really exciting to see. The second reason is that he has shown already that he can make a step up in the levels. Bohs were playing in the Europa League qualifiers this year, and Dawson Devoy was a star for them when they played in the qualifiers. And it's not like they were coming up against nobodies. They were playing against PAOK from Greece, who are a really good side, and Dawson Devoy made that step up no problem at all. So I think he can make the step up to Scottish football with a right adjustment period. So I think the idea around League of Ireland players coming to Scotland and failing to actually make the step up in the level, I don't think that would be a massive issue for Dawson Devoy. And the third reason is based around Ange's style of play. You need a player who's got high intensity runs, who's got a good engine on him, who's going to be able to make those bursting runs forward while also counter-pressing when Celtic don't have the ball. And I think Dawson Devoy can do all of those things. That's sort of the style the Bohemians play. They're not exactly the same as Ange's football, but they are one of the most high-pressing, high-intensity sides in the League of Ireland. So in terms of a player who would suit the system, in terms of a player who would make the step up in quality, and in terms of a really exciting prospect who you can get on the cheap, I think Dawson Devoy is a great option for Celtic to look at in the League of Ireland. The third and final person I've gone for is a name that might be familiar to a lot of people. That is Liam Burt. He is a former Celtic player. He hardly played at all for the club when he was at it. In fact, I don't think he made a first team appearance when he was at the club. Does that mean he's not good enough? I don't think it does. I think it means he was underappreciated at the time he was there. Since moving to Bohemians, he's been a revelation. He's been a really good player for midfield, and he has had some really good output when it comes to a midfield player. He scored 9 goals. That is the most of any midfielder in the league. Average XG of about 0.27 per game. 4 assists, third best from midfield in the league. He's had a really high output in terms of shots. He is 2.45 shots per 90 minutes. That is the top of any midfielder in the league as well. And he's the second best midfielder in terms of his dribbles completed, 9.8 per 90. So second best in the League of Ireland when it came to dribbles. I wouldn't necessarily write a player off just because he wasn't a success the first time he was at the club. He was playing at the club at the time Celtic were going for the 10 in a row. So were they reluctant to bring young players in at that point? I think they were. If you look at the conveyor belt of talent under Neil Lennon, not a lot of players coming through into the first team, not a lot of opportunities for even the likes of Karamoko Dembele, and Stephen Welsh didn't come through until absolutely necessary. So I think Liam Burt deserves a second chance at Celtic to show what he can do. Maybe people aren't keen on bringing a player who is already at the club and wasn't a success back, but I don't think you should necessarily write a player off just because of that. He's gone to a team in the League of Ireland. He's been a massive success for them, one of their best players this year. Bohemians didn't do as well as they would have hoped to do this season. But again, like Dawson Devoy, he has played in the Europa League qualifiers. He's got good first team experience. And now that he's actually got that under his belt, that could be actually the bouncing off point for him to kickstart his career again at Celtic. And Celtic, again, this is a player they can get on the cheap who's going to be able to adjust to a system. And I do think he is capable of making the step up to the Scottish League once again. So that's the three players in the League of Ireland that I think Celtic should take a look at in terms of their quality, in terms of bringing them into the club. Now, obviously, they all come with the massive caveat that they're playing in the League of Ireland. It's a lower level to the Scottish League, but those are three players that I think are really exciting for their age. Celtic could get really cheap, and I think they are capable of making the step up to the Scottish League. That doesn't necessarily mean they would, but I genuinely think they would be good enough to bring in as squad players to add a bit more depth to that Celtic team. What do you think? Is there any players that Celtic should be looking at in this transfer window or in the summer transfer window as well? Let me know in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'm almost at 4,000 subs. Would love to get there by the end of the month. Thanks for watching, folks. Huddle Breakdown is up on the channel tomorrow. Until then, we'll chat to you later. Good luck.